I am Jana Bosonko and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local news headlines. Speaking at the official opening of the long-awaited and much talked about major roads and bridges project in the Upper River region on Saturday evening, President Barrow said the project symbolizes a new era for the nation. In another engagement, President Barrow on Sunday evening presided over the inauguration of the newly upgraded Kunda Primary School, his alma mater, which is now transformed into a lower, upper and senior school. On International Day of the Girl Child, we have 3 special reports looking at various aspects of why the day is important to commemorate. In sports news, Gambia's under-20 women's football team brings joy at the end of the week of mixed fortunes for the nation's footballers. They knocked out Burkina Faso to progress in the under-20 World Cup qualifiers. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us, and I am Jana Bosonko. Now, President Adam Barrow said the inaugurated Upper River Region Major Road and Bridges project symbolizes a new era for the nation. As Ali Cisse reports from Basse, the Gambian president believes these projects are critical components of ongoing national efforts to enhance the country's transportation network and boost agriculture, trade and investment activities, especially in URR and the South region.
3 years ago, traveling on this Basse Fatoto road and across these 2 river crossing points at Fatoto and Basse was a nightmare for travelers. But today, people, including the president, can comfortably, happily and proudly drive on this first-class road and magnificent bridges without any delay. Jubilant crowds line up along the new road from Basse to Fatoto and at Chamoy, Sare Alpha, Fatoto and Basse bridges to welcome the president and thank him for fulfilling a promise he made to them. The country's road network is the backbone of the country's transportation system. Therefore, it's no doubt that this achievement will promote and facilitate the free movement of people, goods and services not only within the country but beyond. The inauguration of the project has now connected the region, hence the name the Ring Road Project. While inaugurating the project at a well-attended event in Basse Mansajang on Saturday evening, President Barrow said the project marks a huge national infrastructure development and a major milestone in the implementation process of the 2018-2021 National Development Plan. He thanked the government of the People's Republic of China for financing the project through a grant and all those who were involved in the successful implementation of the project.
I am bound to use this opportunity to thank the People's Republic of China and to assure them that my government is committed to strengthening our bilateral relations further. In fact, we are exploring new frontiers that include cultural exchanges and expansion of trade and investment on a win-win basis. And we will continue to work together on global and regional issues. In this regard, I reaffirm the Gambia's support of the One China policy, which recognizes the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the People's Republic of China.
President Barrow said relations and cooperation between 2 nations also facilitated key development projects for the Gambia, including the Gambia National Broadband Network Project and the Sadauda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center with a combined portfolio of $75 million. China is also providing technical assistance in the fields of agriculture and health. On behalf of the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, Ma Jian-chun, Lun Wenjun, consular official at the China's Banjul Embassy, reaffirmed his government's commitment to continue accompanying the Gambia on its development journey.
We firmly believe that this project will lay a solid foundation for the future development of the Gambia and the China-Gambia friend relationship.
For Bai Lamin Job, Minister of Works, the project has already transformed the region and will provide easy access to communities. Several other speakers, including Seluba Alcala of Basse, Hameminte Krubali, Chief of Basse District, Governor Sambaba of URR, and Billy G. Tunkara, National Assembly member for Kontara constituency, all welcomed the new projects while calling on the people to rally behind President Barrow for more development. In another welcome pronouncement, President Barrow has officially named the Basse Wuli Bridge the Samba Juma Bridge to honor the late man's kindness and service to humanity. Samba Juma was a canoe man who transported passengers between Basse and Kirwan Badala. President Barrow remembered him for providing free transportation to the school children, including President Barrow himself. Reporting for QTV News from Basse in the Upper River region, I am Aliou Cisse.
Congratulations to the people of URR. Now, President Barrow on Sunday evening presided over the inauguration of the newly upgraded Kunda Primary School, which is now transformed into a lower, upper and senior school. President Adama Barrow, among others, attended primary school at this school in the 1970s. Aliou Cisse has lots of that.
In 2017, when he was elected as the president visited the school and was quite disappointed with the state of the school at the time. The infrastructure, the buildings here, were in a very poor state. There was no water. And in consultation with the Emerson Holland Foundation, the foundation agreed to intervene and complement the government's effort to upgrade this school.
It was at this school that as a boy, Adama Barrow from Mankaman Kunda village, now president of the Gambia, was enrolled by his dad in 1976 to start his education. He will be among the few children from Mankaman Kunda village opportune to be in school. Many, including former schoolmates and teachers, remember the young Adama Barrow as someone who made very good friends with teachers due to his discipline at school and exceptional performance in subjects such as mathematics. Upon coming into office in 2017, the president, while touring the country, was shocked at the poor state of the school. Among other things, it had no perimeter fence, classroom blocks were substandard, and the water supply was very scarce for the students, and the morale of the teachers were at an all-time low. The construction project was awarded to Jigo Construction, a Gambian construction company. The school is now transformed from a lower basic, formerly primary school, to an upper basic and a senior school, all within one perimeter. In addition, it will also provide technical education. The next stage of the transformation will provide the school with an assembly hall and staff quarters. President Barrow said education ranks top on the priority sectors of his government's national development plan. The president assured school authorities of continuous government support, citing that the right infrastructure is ideal for student learning. He emphasized the need for more investment in the education sector to ensure every Gambian child have access to free and quality education, while urging teachers to continue with their good work. He was grateful to the Emerson Holland Foundation for complementing his government's effort to improve the sector.
Our focus in the education sector is to intervene meaningfully and work collaboratively with the ministry staff, teachers, parents, and all other stakeholders. The objective is to graduate productive citizens who can take control of their lives and develop their capacity to contribute to national development.
Speaking Mandinka, Henrietta Sonko, country coordinator of Emerson Holland Foundation, stressed that the development of the education sector requires a holistic approach. She acknowledged the support of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, without which it would have been difficult to accomplish its intervention in the country. She further expressed appreciation for the support received from the President and First Lady Fatimata Barrow. Claudiana Cole, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, said the transformation now makes it the biggest school in the Upper River region. She urged the teachers and students to take good care of the buildings. Saiba Dabo, Principal of Kobakunda Lower Basic School, and Kadi S. Bojang, Principal of Kobakunda Upper and Senior School, were elated by the transformation of the school. They are hopeful that this will improve the quality of teaching and learning. Other speakers, including Chief Amaminte Kurbali of Basse, Governor Sambaba of URR, and Dauda Sankare, Chairman of the School Management Committee, commended the President and Emerson Holland Foundation for the impactful interventions. There was a presentation of certificates of appreciation to President Barrow, Minister Kuledan Cole, Madam Henrietta Sonko of Emerson Holland Foundation, and Amadou Jigo of Jigo Construction. Reporting for QTV News from Basse in the Upper River region, I am Aliou Cisse.
On the International Day of the Girl Child, we take a closer look at the need for girls to have access to water, proper sanitation and hygiene to stay in school while on their periods. This is my report. For the girl child's education to continue while on their periods, there needs to be proper access to water, sanitation and hygiene in schools. One of the main activities of menstruation is the proper disposal of pads and body cleanliness, which requires proper access to water and toilet facilities. Fatou Dafe is a student at St. Joseph's, which is an all-girls school. This means that there is no need for the separation of toilets between boys and girls, which is good. Usually, there is also proper access to water and means for disposal of sanitary products. Studies show that there is a huge gap between rural and urban areas in terms of access to water. Although Fatou Dafe has access to water and hygiene during her periods, she spoke for those girls out there who don't.
When students are provided with proper sanitation materials and things to help them to be clean, it makes their learning easy, because we see some of the girls who have to stay at home because they are on their menses and they are not provided with proper sanitation pads and materials to keep themselves clean, so they have to stay at home. So if children, particularly girls, are provided with these materials, it will make them focus on their studies regardless of the period that they go through every month.
We engaged the Ministry of Health's Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Unit on their efforts to ensure girls have access to water and the hygiene needed to clean up and continue their lessons. WASH Officer Alaji A.B. Jaju explains.
So we go out to schools. There are 14 piloted schools that UNICEF is supporting. And these piloted schools, as far as girl child is concerned, they've built toilet facilities that are sophisticated. They have menstrual cabin wherein it does not keep the girl child from being absent from school. You go to school, when you see your menses, you can go to that facility, take care of yourself and go back to the classroom. So these are some of the issues that are being supported by UNICEF.
Studies have shown that there are problems of lack of gender equity when women and girls lack access to wash facilities and appropriate hygiene education, which in turn affects girls' education, sexual reproductive health and dignity. For QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko. From that story, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more local news stories as well as sports. Please stay tuned.
Sign Language Interpretation Service is proudly supported by the UNDP Accelerator Lab.
Special DTT promo. XCAF Gambia is giving away the DTT decoder for $999 from $2,040 to $999. Yes, more than 50% discount and less than $1,000. You get a brand new DTT decoder by XCAF plus free 1-month subscription, including free installation. With XCAF DTT decoder, get to watch all Gambian local channels and international channels such as news, sports, telenovelas, Senegalese channels and a lot more. Monthly subscription to continue watching international channels is only $450 during this promotion period. This massive promotion ends December 31st, 2021. Rush now to get the DTT decoder for $999. Visit our office at Hendon Court Building, former Dream Park in Senegambia, or through authorized agents near you. For more info, call 446-1060, 446-1061. DTT by XCAF. Discover the amazing world of entertainment.
Novelas ma gunge ci sama kër gi ba xet ci ne duma toog duma tàyyi man daal de moo koy wëri parfum Novelas suñ ko bis ki kër gi xet gi day neex parfum Novelas mooy waaja lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex forest bi dafa neex saxaar ba bi dafa neex lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex Almadina boo ko pompee xet gi day gunguni lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex brise marine bi ak yëpp a neex ak Novelas féppay xeeñ neex.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News, and I'm Jennifer Sonko. Still on the International Day of the Girl Child, Child from the Gambia and its partners on Monday joined the rest of the world to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child. The theme for this year's commemoration is Digital Generation, Our Generation. Babu Kursi has lots of that.
The 11th of October is set aside to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child. In accordance with this year's theme, Digital Generation, Our Generation, the focus is on bridging the digital divide. According to the United Nations, even in the post-COVID-19 world that saw businesses, education, and even parts of the healthcare services moving online, around 2.2 billion people below the age of 25 still do not have internet access at home. Organized by the Child Fund the Gambia and its partners, the day brought together children and stakeholders to discuss and map out ways to bridge the gap and empower the voices of young girls around the world. Famara Dabo, the Program and Sponsorship Director of Child Fund the Gambia, said his office is happy to be associated with the day.
We all know how our young girls are challenged with some of the things that are happening in our societies. So definitely having this day dedicated to the girl child is something that Child Fund want to be associated with. And we've been celebrating this over the past 5, 6, 7 years, and we want to continue celebrating it.
For Musukuta Komaba, the country director of Child Fund the Gambia, said the day is significant as it discusses the challenges faced by girls around the globe.
The theme recognizes the profound transformation that have taken place as many countries turned towards high-tech education to ensure continuity of learning during the COVID-19 pandemic, and what this means for the girls, who, due to the gender digital divide, are more likely than boys to be missing out on precious learning opportunities. You could recall the online classes last year during the lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A great initiative though, yet it exposed huge gaps, especially among you, the girls, due to the lack of access to the digital devices and the internet connectivity.
The Child Fund country director called on the leaders and parents to encourage and open more opportunities to girls and eliminate gender-based challenges. Fatoumata Sise, a media practitioner who had a brief chat with the girls on media and been responsible in using social media, said girls should make good use of modern technology.
Not many girls would understand that digital media is not all about social media sites. It's not all about Facebook. It's not all about Twitter. It's not all about Instagram. But we have other better things that we can use the social media for. For instance, we have our stories that we can share. Positive stories there. Positive stories about girls. Positive stories about women. Positive stories about those powerful women out there that can uplift, that can inspire these young girls to become somebody in future. But then instead of that, these girls, some of them, don't have those basic understandings, and then they will limit themselves to posting certain things on social media that might in fact harm them. Because when you look at social media, it has its pros and cons.
The celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child is to give proper education, healthcare, learning opportunities to young girls and women. They should be safe from gender-based violence and discrimination. According to the United Nations, girls are more likely to be cut off, pointing to a gender divide within the digital divide. It was also stated that girls are less likely than boys to be given digital devices, which affects their numbers in tech-related skills and jobs. Babu Kursi, QTV News.
Still on International Day of the Girl, the day is celebrated annually on October 11th and is dedicated to the growth of girls around the world. This year, International Day of the Girl Child's theme is Digital Generation, Our Generation. Ajibintu Drama spoke to girls on the impact they have made in the digital space and challenges faced by them.
The day was declared by the United Nations to amplify the voices of young girls around the world and increase awareness of issues faced by them. The day focuses on the rights, safety and education of girls. In terms of education, the COVID-19 has had a spirally negative impact on girls. Women and girls are half of the world's population. However, they are underrepresented in many male-dominated fields, including the digital tech world. According to the United Nations, girls are more likely to be cut off, pointing to the gender divide within the digital divide. Speaking to Maimuna Jabi, co-founder High Tech and a climate change advocate, says equal opportunity should be given to girls. She explains how she maneuvers her way through the male-dominated field.
Technology has actually been made for girls. I was exposed to through tech camps that we used to do all countrywide, where we would train secondary school students on tech. I also got to love it, and it has helped me build a career in it now. So what I have to say is that we give the digital tools to girls. So any girl that's given the opportunity, I believe, will be able to make most use of it, and they won't it will also help minimize some of the risks we face even when we go out to work.
Maimuna states that there is a need to see new faces of women in the tech space to inspire other young girls. She explains the impact she made and shares a word of advice for girls like her.
To every young girl, we just say it starts with us. We have a lot of challenges, and we say, okay, it's not our wall yet. And there's a lot of barriers, not even the technology field, but the sexual violences that happen, the economy, the gender gap, a whole lot of lists that we could actually list.
Adama Moloshi is a schoolgirl who also advocates against both FGM and child marriage. She says the journey advocating to end FGM and child marriage has been difficult due to religion and culture. She says she is positive that these practices will one day be things of the past.
We called like the teachers, the young people going to school, we called their parents, we even called the elders in the society, talk to them, tell them the effects about FGM and child marriage. And I think the laws that are put into this need to be implemented.
Fatoumata Sise, student leader in her school in the Upper River region, talks about her role in the community and how COVID-19 has impacted the lives of girls in her community.
We started to sensitize boys about these bad issues, that they are not taboos and then they are not something that is very bad. We sat for so many months without going to school. Some of us were forced to get married because we are not going to school. Even it has forced some people to go out streets to sales and all other things.
Fatoumata calls on everyone, especially girls in the rural areas, to take a stand to end early marriage, sexual abuse and other issues that disproportionately affect them. Excel Babukar Oduharu advocates an end to FGM and child marriage and other issues affecting girls.
I have a sister. I don't want to see my sister being in that situation of being forced to be in an early marriage, to be female, to be genitally mutilated, and to be sexually violated.
Empowering girls and women by giving them equal opportunities, a world free from gender-based violence, among other issues affecting them, will help address key factors hindering the progress and development of girls. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
That is all we have on International Day of the Girl, and happy International Day of the Girl to all the girls out there. Now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. Gambia women's under-20 Scorpions have progressed to the second round of the FIFA under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers after overturning a 1-0 defeat in the second leg. QTV's Momodu Gajaga has the rest of that.
Celebrating victory after overturning the result of their home defeat to Burkina Faso, the Gambia women's under-20 team leveled the aggregate scores with Wude Colley's lone goal. With matters all square at 1-1 at the end of the game, penalties were needed to decide the tie, with Gambia going through after a 4-3 victory on spot kicks. Reacting to the victory, Fode Ba, coach of the women's under-20 team, praised his team for their bravery in the match. He told GFF Media the girls gave their best.
Girls really make me proud. They've played very well. A very difficult game, a very good side, very good Burkina side. I think I've said it back home. Sometimes you lose games not because you didn't perform. You performed extremely well back home. Coming here to the second leg, we played extremely well.
The Gambia under-20 women's team now know their opponents in the next round of qualifying. They will face Morocco over 2 legs. The Moroccans eliminated Benin 4-3 on aggregate. 2 teams from Africa will qualify for the finals. The FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup will see 16 nations compete against each other for the prize at what will be the 5th edition of the tournament. The tournament, which was originally planned for 2020 and intended to have Panama as co-host, had to be postponed due to the COVID pandemic. Costa Rica were then named sole host of the rescheduled Global Showpiece, which will run from the 10th to the 28th of August 2022. The competition has seen 4 previous champions, namely the USA, Germany, Japan, and Korea DPR. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
That is all we have time for, but before we leave, let's recap our main headlines. Speaking at the official opening of the long-awaited and much talked about major roads and bridges projects in the Upper River region on Saturday evening, President Barrow said the project symbolizes a new era for the nation. In another engagement, President Barrow on Sunday evening presided over the inauguration of the newly upgraded Kunda Primary School, his alma mater, which is now transformed into a lower, upper and senior school. On International Day of the Girl Child, we had 3 special reports looking at various aspects of why it's important to commemorate the day. In sports news, Gambia's under-20 women's football team brought joy at the end of a week of mixed fortunes for the Gambia's national players. They knocked out Burkina Faso to progress in the under-20 World Cup qualifiers. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.